Hi, I'm Case Lowe, co-host of the Open the Voice Gate podcast. The one question I'm constantly asked when it comes to Dragon Gate is, how do I get into the promotion? Well, stop asking and start listening to the Open the Voice Gate podcast, released every Wednesday on the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. For exclusive news and show reviews, look no further than the leader in Dragon Gate coverage, Open the Voice Gate.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Super J-Cast. I'm Joel, joined by Damon McDonald. It is Thursday, the 6th of February, 2025. This is episode 348. Damon, I'm going to start by asking you about non-New Japan related stuff, which might shock you. Did you watch any of the WWE Royal Rumble?
Royal Rumble? No, I didn't watch any of it. I saw... Okay, I didn't watch the show, mind you, but I saw couple clips. So I know who won the men's. I know who won the women's. And I don't know anything else.
I find it really fascinating watching WWE and what it's become, because it seems so far removed from actual wrestling. And I know this is not exactly a hot take, but I think I may have accused at some point AEW of being wrestling for the TikTok generation. And that is what. So for anyone who's got kids or has seen it, WWE is like the Coco Melon of professional wrestling. Just, I don't know if you're familiar with Coco Melon, Damon, but it's just like bright lights, like flashing colours, just constantly changing fast cuts, just to try and hold the attention of hyperactive toddlers with brainworms. And that's what WWE feels like these days, because it's just like going from one thing to the next thing, and it never, like, they'll sort of frame something and set up, two wrestlers squaring off or something, and the crowd will react to that, like, but then literally seconds later, they've lost interest. Yeah. The wrestlers start actually hitting each other. They start doing moves. They start doing wrestling on each other. They'll do the wrestles, and no one cares. They've lost interest, and they're all just waiting for the next thing to happen.
Right.
Like, you would swipe on your phone for the next thing.
Yep. Cue the music. Yeah. They react to music and entrances and, and they make silly faces to look shocked at things that are happening. Oh my God. It's Jey Uso? Oh my God. Like, ugh. Do me a favor. Get hit by a train, please. All of you. Yeah. I mean, but that's, again.
That big main event they had at WrestleMania last year, was it Cody against Roman, that a lot of their fans were saying was like the greatest match of all time, and it was just
the
entrances. Yeah, this music. This guy's come out and he's done a move, and then another guy's come out and done a move, and it's like it's very telling. It's a real sort of mirror held up to what has become of mainstream entertainment these days, particularly in America. I hate to be like the snobby Brit, but it's really quite something. Like, these people have just zero attention span, and it's just a product crafted around that.
That's what it is. It's like it bears no resemblance to pro wrestling. It's that, like in the pecking order, the actual pro wrestling is probably 5th or 6th on the show. And
even when they do that Cody thing, like, finish the story, it wasn't finishing the story. It was just, hey, do you remember this guy? Do you remember this? Right. Do you remember this? Exactly. Look at this. Look at this. It's this person. It's this person. Look, they're doing a thing. They're doing another thing. A thing's going to happen. And there's just like no real narrative cohesion to it at all. It's just a bunch of like flashing images. It was really quite disorientating to watch, actually. I had a bit of a headache afterwards. Let's go and lie down afterwards.
Boy, are we two old men yelling at clouds? We're just
I'm going to get absolutely buried. I'm sure there might be some people listening. Well, to be fair, I've probably run off that crowd by this point.
Yeah, I can't imagine, yeah. I mean, look, but you're right. It's everywhere. If you go to, I don't know if you're into or give a flying fuck about like the Grammys or something. Like the Grammys are a joke. It's just like whatever the sugar-coated candy flavor of the month is. You know, it's not about music. It's just about pop stuff. But here's the thing. And while that gets the most, I don't even think does it get the most eyeballs? Maybe it probably does. It does. Okay. But doesn't mean it's good. I hate to say it, doesn't mean it's good. If you enjoy it, I think there's the bottom line is this: as when it was first happening, and when Vince was pushing this as what pro wrestling is, the sports entertainment package. Trust me, there were plenty of people that were pro wrestling fans that were just like, "This is fucking bullshit. This stinks. This is terrible. These characters are dumb. Everything's silly. Right? All he did was buy his time. All he did was just say, okay, continue going. And year after year, as the calendar turned, he won. Because all he did was condition people that know no better that this is the standard. That is what we are. And it has gotten worse. But, I mean, once again, I can't say popularity makes it better, but at the end of the day, they're massive. You know, they've made more money than they ever have. So, you know, I don't know. I hate to be like the guy who's like, nah, man, you got to listen to independent bands and go out and go to the small town clubs and support your local musicians, man. That those people can seriously jump out of a plane without a parachute too.
This Damon, our entire podcast and its 348 episode run is based on that premise.
It really
that
is.
ship has sailed.
It really is. But look, there's different strokes for different folks. How about that? Different strokes for different folks.
What does irk me, though, is people who are employed by New Japan Pro Wrestling openly whoring themselves at the feet of WWE. And I said, like, I should get in on that act and do something similar. And like next year at Wrestle Kingdom, upload a video of New Japan Rambo of just recording my face reacting to all the entrances.
You can record
here comes Toki Makabe! Wow!
Oh my god! They could record me sleeping. Like a lot of hits. Yeah, it's a different world, Joel. It's just a different world. And here's the thing: the people who create that type of stuff, God bless you. God bless you. I don't have the energy for that. I don't fucking have the energy for that.
Yeah, but maybe don't do that when you're an employee of New Japan Pro Wrestling and that's the company you're supposed to be promoting.
Wait, who is that?
I don't want to publicly name them, but I have shared the thing I'm talking about in our WhatsApp with our friend.
Okay. Can I?
You don't have to look hard to find it, but I would triumphantly declare with my Great Okan meme, this tweet has been deleted about the content in question. Although, if you go to that person's Twitter page, it is just WWE shilling. And
really?
Like, I get it. Like, we know a lot of people grew up watching that, and that's where they want to be. But to frame it like, oh, these guys that, well, not guys, but these wrestlers that I saw toiling away for New Japan finally made it to the big leagues and in the Royal Rumble, their dreams have finally come true, is not the best way to frame your employers, really. I'd have a serious think about that. But I guess that they did, and hence this tweet has been deleted. So the battle is over. We have won.
And that person receives a paycheck from New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know.
For all that we have done, and listen, we're annoying. We get it. We're little fucking gnats. We get it, New Japan Pro Wrestling. We get it. I mean, to tell me you can't throw it. Here's the thing. You know what? You could take your money. Take the money. We have better. We have better. we have people we talk to, and information that is mind blowing. But that does a little bit piss me off. Like, what the fuck? Imagine that. Holy Hannah. Well, what a world we live in. What the fuck what are we doing? What are we doing? Can't we just be nice? Can't we just be nice? We'd have money. We'd have delicious money. Delicious money. If we were just nice. God damn it. Why do we have to be such horrible people? Fuck. Oh, well. You know what? I got to be honest with you. I'd rather be true to myself than cash out. What do you think of that?
I don't know. It depends how big that check is, Damon.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I could be living my dreams doing a podcast about World Wrestling Entertainment, but I've got to pay my dues first and do this shitty New Japan podcast before I make it to the big leagues.
Let's put it this way. I'm sure that person, every time that check gets deposited, they're sweating. They're like, "Oh, is this thing going to clear?" Yeah, you know what? They can have that. They can have it. I don't want that stress.
Yeah, we all need a bit of job security. I can't really be that harsh on them.
I'm good. Yeah, you know what? Good for her. Good.
Especially if they get paid in yen. Fuck me.
You're correct. Jeez. Yeah, no wonder they're pining for a WWE spot. I'm going
to start following Triple H on Twitter. Let's all get on the gravy train.
Let's go. What are we doing? This is nonsense. I'll sit here. I'll tell you how much fucking Hiroshi Tanahashi sucked for years. He's just a bum. I'll do it. Give me the money. Sign me up. What a world. All right. Well, we made more enemies. We stink.
So we're very good at that.
We are good. That's the best thing. We got.
I think it's about time I made some more enemies because I've defeated all my enemies. Like, they're all destroyed. So I'm just sort of standing on a massive pile of corpses with no one left to engage in online combat. So I think it's just what I have to do now. I'm just like the Mad King, just sort of with no one to channel
with our folder of being right in our hand, beating people with it. Listen, they're probably sitting on a beach in Mexico right now, just like, pro wrestling, schmo wrestling, who cares? While we're sitting here slaving away for the people. But that's okay. That's okay. We love our people.
Yeah, because they don't get to talk about Road to the New Beginning in Aomori in the Kakehiro Group Athletics Stadium. Mm-hmm. And we do. See? So who's the real winner? It's us. We're the winners.
Is it?
We've won the internet fights.
Oh, God. Okay. Where shall we start? Have we started? All right, let's start.
Let's go.
We've started
15
minutes ago.
Let's do this. Yay. I would like to start. Now, I know you have not watched everything. I have, because I'm a Shinihon freak. Mm-hmm. Now, last week when we recorded, we had not seen the House of Torture match. They have a 6-man championship match. And now I'm on the results page. I can't seem to find it. I don't know which show it was. It was Thursday, wasn't it? Yes, Thursday in Miyagi. Yeah, the Sendai Sun Plaza Hall. And we figured that by the time everyone's listening to the show, the event would have already happened. So we pretended to review a match that had not actually taken place yet, which was another openweight 6-man tag championship match. I said that the Hontai team would win, but it hilariously turned out that House of Torture did actually win. So that was a mercifully short 11 minutes and 51 seconds. Oh, so John Carroll in the chat says, Joel, did you even watch the Test Aomori live stream? Right, I didn't watch this, so I can't really claim to be a full Shinihon freak, but apparently they did this live test stream with like no commentary and basically like very little production. It was just like a live stream. Was it single cam? I don't even know. They just decided, to randomly do a live test stream from Aomori. I've no idea why, but of course there were some people from our Discord watching it. John Carroll watching it. Bless them. I cannot report anything. John, if there was anything notable from that show that you would like to let us know about that we can pivot into a discussion, do tell us. Yeah, I'm not a true sicko like you know. My Shinihon freak card has been revoked. I'll tell you what, John, what I will do, I'll watch it and review it for the Patreon. So all you lovely subscribers can hear my thoughts on the live Aomori test stream. It was not single cam. Okay,
no.
So,
wow. Interesting. Had a little mixer in there. Nice. Look at them go.
If that's what the people demand, that's what I'll do. But I'm going to go back to talking about the Never Six-Man Championship match. And it's over. It's finally over for the Boltin Yano Tanahashi team. They got beaten by Sho, Yujiro, and Ren. Interestingly enough, Damon, when the match started, before the match started, when House of Torture were making their way from down the ramp for their entrances, it was the Hontai team that jumped House of Torture. So learning from their mistakes and getting the jump on the bad guys. And talk about putting your best foot forward. When your match starts with Yano and Yujiro brawling in the crowd, then you know you're onto a winner. I'm rubbing my hands together like, yes, this is what I wake up for in the morning. I will say, at the very least, this never-ending feud has given a platform for House of Torture guys to bump around the ring for Oleg Boltin and make him look like a monster. So that's been good. And hopefully now that he's no longer a six-man champion, free him up to do something more interesting. Although he was backstage mourning the loss of these titles and how much they meant to him, and he really loved being a never openweight six-man tag team champion, and he's going to get the belts back one day. He bloody loves those belts, Damon. I don't know what to tell you. It meant so much for him. So he was devastated, but it's an interesting finish here because Kanemaru, who was not in the match, he tried to interfere, but he was held back by Daiki Nagai. And then Nagai was then thrown into the referee to break up a pinfall attempt. And then there was whiskey and a low blow. That's how the match finished. But it might mean nothing. It might just be like Nagai happened to be the young lion and they just wanted any old young lion to do that spot. Or there could be some intentionality behind that. So I'm just going to file that away for later of Daiki Nagai being involved in the finish of that House of Torture match. Again, could be nothing. Could be significant. I don't know. But House of Torture, Sho, Yujiro, Ren are your new six-man tag team champions.
I mean, at the very least, they trusted him not to fuck up a finish, right? If that's a plus, that he had that vote of confidence from whoever's giving the finishes back there, then great. Just another little thing that they trusted him to do. So if that does turn into a House of Torture future, hey, you tried to fuck us. What are you doing? You're dropping things.
So where I'm set up is in our spare bedroom, and it's on Mally's little dressing table where there's all her sort of makeup and cosmetics and stuff. She's just got out of the shower and just reaching across my recording setup to grab various lotions and stuff.
Was that a breast?
I think she's a bit cross with me, so there's a non-zero chance of this getting sabotaged. Yeah.
Oh, what'd you do? What can I ask?
I said that my mum could come and spend the weekend with us.
Oh, and she's not too thrilled about that one, huh?
No, she's not.
Oh, can I ask you that? Did you just say yes and that was that? Or did you say, hey, can she spend it? Did you kind of give her the, you're in this house too. Can we do this? You just said yes, that it's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think I might just cancel it. I'll just say tomorrow, sorry, you're uninvited.
Please leave the house for a week.
Yeah.
Wow. That's going to go over great. All right. Well, good luck to you. Hopefully you don't get
and more bad news, Damon. John's told us that I can't watch that live stream. They didn't archive it. You either had to see it live or you never got to see it at all. So that's going to be lost to the annals of time. There could have been something incredible in there that only the live viewers would have got to experience.
Imagine being a lucky one to hop on that and catch that. Jeez.
348 episodes of this podcast and we blown it. Our big chance to be a part of history and fucked it up.
Do they? I have a dumb question, but more than usual. Have in recent years, and I don't know the answer to this, and that's why I'm asking. For the Tokyo Dome, you know how they would have the camera set up in the dome, and they would just have all the forklifts, set up the ring and the ramp and everything, like the night before. Do they still do that?
I don't know. I'm not the New Japan production team. I'm not sure who you're directing that question at.
But they would have a single camera, and you would watch it. There have been times where it has been on, in the middle, because again, it's nighttime over I don't know if you know how the sun and the earth work, but when it's light here, it's dark all the way over there. So they would have it. They would just, and I would watch it because it was kind of like your little Shenmue thing, It's I'm just watching guys driving around in a forklift. I was just wondering.
Daryl says, I think they only did that in 2015, so it might have been.
Was it only one time?
One off.
Huh. I could have sworn it was more than that. But okay. I don't know. Maybe it was all just a fever dream. Maybe it never really happened. All right. Take us away, Joel, please.
Right. So we're leaving that show and we are going forward to Monday, February 3rd in Tokyo, Korakuen Hall. We're not going to do all the matches, but I will do a whistle-stop tour of ones that I thought were significant. So first, there was a kickoff match where the freshly returned... What's his name? And on the website it says Masatora Yasuda. Is that correct?
Yasuda.
Yasuda. I thought that name doesn't sound correct to me. Okay, it is Masatori Yasuda. Okay, so Masatori Yasuda had a singles match with Katsuya Morishima. Went 7 minutes, 13 seconds. Morishima won via Boston Crab. But about 30 seconds into this match, Morishima just caved in Yasuda's front teeth with it must have been like a stiff elbow or something. Mm-hmm. And his fucking like front middle incisor is hanging out and he's just like pissing blood out of his mouth. It was horrific. Like it was your fairly standard young lion match after that, but just blood pouring out of this guy's mouth and his tooth is hanging out. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this is one of the most gruesome things I've ever seen in a kickoff match that went 7 minutes long. And obviously not a nice thing to happen to Yasuda. And he's only just come back from injury. And I think he missed the show after that. So I'm assuming he's having some emergency dental work done. And that's unlucky for him. However, we know New Japan. Long-term rivalries, big feuds have been built on less than that. So that's a nice little hook, Damon. You get Yasuda's teeth, his tooth being the launching point for a generational rivalry between him and Morishima. That's the long-standing New Japan tradition of using moments of misfortune to build for the future. So I'm excited to see what sort of tooth-related narratives can be spun from this.
Nice. I can't wait for his dental gimmick to come out. I think they did it already. Yank him. It was
that could be Morishima's gimmick. His sort of post-excursion. He could be the
dentist, the evil dentist. DDS. That was. I just hate. Like I could. Not that I'm sitting there watching wrestling injuries like a morbid hunk of crap, but I feel like I could watch like injuries in a ring 1,000 times. It's the one thing to the mouth or the nose that just I can't stand it. Like anytime like in hockey, you get sticks to the face occasionally. Sometimes you get a puck right in the mouth. It just skeeves me so much, and this did as well. And because here's the thing, it's probably, and we don't know. I haven't heard anything status wise, but I mean that could be. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's just teeth. Like it could be jaw, it could be cheek, it could be nose, it could be nasal cavity. All of that stuff that's intertwined. That's just gives me douche chills right down my spine. I can't stand it. Ugh.
Yeah, very yucky. So the first match was the Hiroshi Tanahashi Final Road Connection match, where Tanahashi beat Daiki Nagai in 8 minutes 36 seconds on a Texas Clover Hold. And again, I mean, this is what you would expect sort of structurally in terms of a veteran wrestling against a young lion. But very early on, like about 30 seconds into this match, Nagai, big chop to Tanahashi's chest. And that really set the table for something which, again, in terms of the structure, was what you would expect, usual veteran versus young lion. But there's just an edge and an attitude and charisma with which Daiki Nagai carries himself within the confines of that typical young lion parameters. That's really resonating with the crowds because he's behaving like a little prick, but they love him. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and the fans like that. I think we're in the era now of the angry young men taken over in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and match was punctuated at the end with a really big exclamation point. Nagai, big slap to Tanahashi's face, like slapping the president of the company right in the face. Not many young lions doing that, and Tana, of course, paid it back, returned big slaps of his own, picked him back and slapped the taste out of his mouth, locked on the cloverleaf. But it's really selling the after effects afterwards, and not for nothing, he had this big welt on his chest. And then back, he gave him like a really sort of paternal arm around the shoulder, like, oh, you did good, kid. I like your moxie kind of thing. And then backstage, he was really putting him over, saying, in every move, I felt his soul. So this is a new thing that I'm going to be measuring in these upcoming wrestlers, what their soul level, because you look at someone like Shota Umino, who we'll talk about later, no soul. He's got no soul. But Daiki Nagai, very high soul level. So this is something that Tanahashi's picked out. So I know lots of us have been on board the Daiki Nagai hype train early on, but get on board. Plenty of room. Choo-choo.
Choo-choo. Get on board the soul train. Get it? No?
Yeah, I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah. It was right there. You set yourself up for it. Here's what I will say. And I say it a lot, with those Young Lion matches, I don't necessarily need to see technique. It's helpful. Like, it helps, that they're fluid and they are crisp and they're not fucking things up and all that. It's the connection. Like, and it's like, can they convey who they are, how they're feeling, all that stuff to the crowd? To me, that is an important element in the development of a pro wrestler. Now, I will also say that it might give yourself a little bit of an edge if you have a little bit of an edge. Like, to just go out there and do moves in your black trunks and your black boots and then leave, not everyone has that it factor, as everyone likes to say, that will make up for the fact that you're just going out there and doing your arm drags and your hip tosses and your Boston crabs and you're getting the fuck out of the ring in 5 minutes. So to have that little bit of an advantage of being a prick, leaning into being a prick. Hey, look, you want to slap a president? That's a pretty good sign that you have a little bit of an edge, which again makes it a little bit easier.
Don't take that out of context, viewers.
Right. But I will also say this, I highly doubt that any one of those young lions have free reign to do whatever the fuck they want. It's not like he went out there and was like, all right, I'm going out there and slapping the president because I'm going to make a name for myself. The fact that they were saying, hey, why don't we do this? Or encouraging that. So it works both ways. Maybe not everyone can get that opportunity to slap a president, but if you do, you should take advantage of it. Isolate that, Dan. I think it's perfect.
All right, another little tidbit. I enjoyed the backstage promo from Jacob Austin Young. He's the United Empire pin eater, but backstage he was just absolutely consolable. He was almost in tears, saying, he's come to his big chance in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he's getting beaten all the time. Filled with self-doubt, he wanted to be best of Super Juniors, and then he thinks, I don't belong here. But then the next night he was more confident. He was like, no, never going to be like that again. That was embarrassing. He set himself a goal to beat Master Wato. That's just one of the little things I like about New Japan is guys who have seemingly inconsequential spots on the undercards, giving themselves motivation. That's what they say in all good fiction, isn't it? That all of your characters should have a clear motivation, even if it's something as simple as needing a glass of water. Everyone's got to have a motivation. So I like that Jacob Austin Young set that up. So well done to him. Now,
yes.
I'm just going to skip ahead to the semi-main event of this match, which was 10-man tag match of Ishii, Yo, Despi, Yoshihashi, and Goto against Hartley Jackson, Robbie Eagles, Fujita, Oiwa, and Zack. Just for one moment, which was they basically built the whole match with the climactic moment being a double hot tag where Ishii and Hartley Jackson were tagged in at the same time. The crowd lost their minds when those guys tagged in. They just great sequence together, just big boys beating the shit out of each other. Ishii kicked out a Death Valley driver, the Hartley Jackson big power bomb that got broken up. And Ishii won at the end with a delayed vertical drop brainbuster. And the crowd were just on fire. They absolutely loved it. And I just think that is a Japanese pro wrestling archetype, isn't it? The big sort of foreign monster that I know there's Jeff Cobb, but I don't know. He doesn't really. It feels like since Lance Archer left, there's been a gap in the roster for that kind of monster. And I just wonder if it's worth doing something with Hartley Jackson. Like, we know he lives in Japan and he's a veteran and he's well liked backstage and he's been instrumental with what's going on with TMDK. So I'm wondering if I'm not saying give the guy a world title run, but there's obviously enthusiasm for him and upside for them to maybe do something with him, whether it's a never open weight title challenge or something like that, because the crowd fucking loved it. They were really into him.
And it might have been just the right time, right place, and they worked the match magically, and which I think they did. You're right. They don't really have that right now. And you're right. I don't know.
Because it wasn't Hikuleo. We'll tell you that for nothing.
Correct. Right. And you're right. Jeff Cobb is more of like a tree trunk, if we're comparing things, as opposed to, a giant. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I mean, again, I don't want to put too much stock into any one single event, but if it can happen, why not try again? I guess is our point, right? Why not? Can we?
Yeah, put the New Japan Cup.
Right. Oh, no problem with that. None. No problem with that. Because here's the thing, too. Even if he loses more than he wins, I think it's going to do more good than harm for him and the idea of having... Look, nothing overcomes big, better than someone overcoming big. It resonates with a crowd. You can be big, and just the fact that you are big... If I say big one more time. If you are big... and someone beats you, it is a slight feather in the cap. So there's always a role for that in pro wrestling. And it feels like there's always been a role for that in New Japan Pro Wrestling specifically. Why not? Why not? Let's take a chance. Fuck it. Let's do it. I'm okay with it.
Main event was the NJPW World TV Championship match with El Phantasmo successfully defending against Jeff Cobb, 12 minutes 45 seconds via Thunder Kiss 86. And yeah, this was a fun match. We had some good stuff early on with Cobb countering ELP's high-flying moves, grabbing him out of the air. And ELP did a crazy moonsault off the apron to the ringside. And that just anytime there's guys doing moonsaults where there are metal barriers, I hate it and I shit my pants because I just get flashbacks to TK Orion. So thankfully everyone was all right there. They did some cool stuff in the crowd. Jeff Cobb sort of lifting ELP up for the vertical suplex and carrying him up the stairs. That was nuts. ELP jumping off the entrance where the stairs are in the crowd. ELP putting an ELP towel on Jeff Cobb's head before chopping him. And yeah, some cool spots, some cool counters down the stretch. I felt it lacked a bit. I'll tell you what it was. I think it lacked a bit of pace, a bit of intensity, because with this 15-minute time limit, you want the sense of urgency to be sold through the time limit of that TV time. I don't think this really needed the additional smoke and mirrors of the no count-out stipulation. And right. I don't know, maybe this is just me being fussy, but I felt it belied a lack of confidence in their ability to fill that time and sell the time limit. And I think that should be enough, right? I think having this is 15 minutes to do the job, that should be enough. And two quality professional wrestlers like them should be able to make that dramatic and exciting without having to layer extra stipulations on top of that. But It was not a bad match at all. It was really enjoyable. I liked it. And some of the most enjoyable bits came afterwards, where ELP was asking Jado to translate his promo, and then Jado was just mistranslating everything. So ELP was saying stuff like he was trying to basically put over the entire crew, and then Jado was just sort of like staring blankly and being like, I did my best today. I love you all. So there wasn't really much nuance to the translations going on. And then there was like Milano at ringside being like, no, that was not at all what he said. He's translating it all wrong. So it was very funny. And then ELP saying, giving a shout out to Walker Street, Walker, who sits in the hotel room by himself every day to do English commentary for the 12 people that watch it live, which popped me. That was very funny. And just put over everyone at every level of the company, from the guys who drive the buses, setting up the rings, all of that, all the backstage people. And I think it says a lot about ELP's role in the company. Just little things like he said he's going to Osaka to do an autograph session, despite not being on the card. He's not got a match, but he wants to go there because he knows it means something to the fans. So I think people do need to recognise El Phantasmo's value to New Japan above and beyond his role as a wrestler, because I think as a person and what he does backstage in terms of just things like morale and his relationships with people is very valuable to people in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And it raises a lot of questions about Jeff Cobb as well, because he said backstage, maybe it's time to take my bags and go somewhere else. So there's a lot of speculation about his future within the company.
Where Fukuoka?
Not quite sure where he'd go, to be honest, but yeah, you said that before. But yeah, what did you think about El Fantasma and Jeff Cobb?
I thought it was good. And I do want to agree with your point of the concept of the TV title is it's pre-baked, And I would honestly, I prefer that be the focus of trying to beat someone within that 15-minute range, right? And the stipulation with the countouts being waived, it did add a decent element in the fact that they can do some crazy shit out in the crowd, right? I hate when they jump off that entrance, though. I really do. One slip off that concrete entranceway. You're fucking going to eat it. And here's the problem. It's that entrance is kind of weird because that the overhang kind of sits back. It doesn't sit over top. So when you jump, you got to clear like 3 or 4 steps before you actually get to the cement landing part where the seats are. And if you overshoot, you're going right on those hard as humanly possible orange seats. It's like if the guy just doesn't catch you, you're fucked. I just think there's so much. I do kind of get a little antsy when they pull that. I did like the suplex though. That was pretty wild. Not the suplex, but the carrying at least and up the stairs. It's pretty strong. Yeah, ELP. I think. I don't want to say lean into the fact that the guy has come back from a serious medical thing, and again he does. It feels genuine, at least to me, his appreciation and all of that. And you can see how the fans react to him. And you can also see how he constantly flirts with the women in the crowd. Everything's in, he goes to the ring, stands in front of them, gives them little winks, brawls, everything. Listen, smart guy, smart cookie. The fans love him. Fans love him. I would say right now, especially when it comes to foreign New Japan Pro wrestlers, Western, he's probably in the top 3 popularity, wouldn't you think? Am I out of my mind?
Who else is alongside in that top 3?
I don't even know if you could put Zach in there anymore. Like, I feel like Zach had his moment, but I don't know if he's as popular and as wanted to be, like, people want to give their love, so to speak, as opposed to a wrestler asking for your love. I think he's in the top 3. And I think you will always have Hiroshi Tanahashi in that top 3. But okay, so if we say Hiroshi Tanahashi, El Fantasmo, then who's the next, like, pure, unadulterated babyface fans love?
Well, we could go to the Shoe Pro Awards with the favourite wrestlers, because that was voted for by fans.
Mm-hmm. True.
Which we discussed that last time. So first place, so I've got this big mix of different Japanese promotions. So first place for the whole poll was Tanahashi, got 2,942 votes. Then the next New Japan guy was Naito, 5th place, 1,399. Then third place was Zach, 11th place. Sorry, I say third. The third place New Japan wrestler and 11th place overall was Zach, who got 704 votes. 12th place Hiromu, 647 votes. Gabe Kidd, 14th. Ishii, 15th. Despi, 17th. Oleg Boltin, 19th. Sho Evil, 20th. Sho, 21st. Watto, 22nd. No, there's no ELP. ELP cannot be found with the search party, so your theory has just fallen apart.
God damn it. I thought I had a really good point. But I will say this. I don't think there's a wrestler that again, you can be popular and people can like you and love what you do in the ring. But I'm going to go to my grave and say there's not a guy right now that people, for people who want to love, he's in that top 3. I'm gonna stand by that. He might not be the most popular, if that makes any sense, but I think more people want to love him. Like, truth be told, I don't know anybody right now that's like, fuck ELP. And if you are, you are a heartless heathen. You're a ghoul.
There was a time, there was a wave of that.
Yes,
but
there was.
I think he's won people over at this point.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. All right. I'll stop beating the dead horse. Sorry.
So let's go then to Tuesday's show, February 4th at Korakuen Hall. And I would like to... There's a lot of stuff that happened on the show, which I will subsume into the preview of New Beginning in Osaka. One thing was funny, the second match, which was Jado, Wato, Shota, and El Phantasmo against Jacob Austin Young, Akira Great-Okada, and Jeff Cobb. So I got to the closing stretch where Jado is basically getting beaten down in the ring and outnumbered, and like you can see, you can sense that the match is coming to an end. And El Phantasmo jumps onto English commentary, he puts on a headset and starts chatting away while Jado's getting beaten up. And Walker's like, "Aren't you going to go and save your partner?" He's like, "Oh no, he'll be fine." Oh fuck, he got pinned. It's over. So that just made me laugh. He's got a wicked sense of humour, Phantasmo. One of the many things we like about him. Let's go straight ahead then to the main event. Like, there's other stuff that happened on the show which I will talk about when we preview the beginning, but the main event here was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. El Desperado successfully defending his title against the challenger Kosei Fujita in 23 minutes and 3 seconds with a Pinche Loco. And Eric writes in and says, "My only question is rhetorical. How great was Fujita Despi? Also love Zach watching from the balcony. The proud but very stressed dad pacing in the wings as his kid does his very best on stage." And brilliant match. Really outstanding performance from Fujita, who I know there's a lot of discourse about him, but I think the guy's a real prodigy for how young he is. I still believe he's a nailed-on future, at the very least, junior heavyweight ace, and I could easily see him making the transition to heavy at some point because he's got everything. He's got the look, he's got the charisma, the crowd connection, really great selling in this match, and not just the selling of the injury, like the body part that Despi's working over, but just that general sense of struggle, and especially that final sequence where he managed to reverse the Pincho Loco and got a really good near fall out of that, and then Despi bridged out of it, and Fuji's just desperately trying to shake free of that final Pincho Loco. And it was really great stuff. And yeah, I like that Eric mentioned seeing Zach, and I don't know if the cameras actually focused in on that. Like, you could see in certain shots, Zach was in the background, like up in the balcony watching, but I don't know if, I can't recall if that was actually something that they drew direct attention to, because that's something that I feel has added just an extra layer to Fujita's identity. The fact that he has been taken under the wing of Zach and TMDK as a whole. Like, this is a guy who is being molded and shaped in front of our very eyes by his relationships and his learning from his TMDK senpais. Like, being able to see Zach in the balcony as Fujita's chaining Zach style submissions together. And you don't really have that with any of the other guys, this kind of sense that they're learning on the job and learning in front of you and adding new layers to their game that they're picking up from the guys teaching them. So that sort of direct teacher-mentor-student relationship, I think, is something that's adding, I don't know, something quite relatable about Kosei Fujita, and that seems to be resonating with a lot of fans. So, what did you think of the match?
I think, first, the match I did enjoy a ton. How do I say this gingerly? Did you get a sense? And I would say not only with this match, but on others on this particular show. What happened to this country? Oh my God! What happened to this promotion being a quote body company? Everybody kind of looks a little bit out of shape, don't they? Now, I know, right? I mean, am I wrong? Did you notice any of that? Between Tanahashi, between even Despi? Despi's got a paunch. He's got a bit of a paunch. I think And again,
I'm quite surprised that's your talking point coming out of this match.
I know, but like I just really, I don't know. It seemed to stick out a little bit. Like, guys, I mean, I don't know. Is Chase Owens really needed that badly? I mean, bring him back, fly him back in. We need you. Because he has good workout routines. Look, I noticed it. I felt it throughout this entire show. So I just wanted to bring that up. 2. No, you didn't. Tell me you didn't notice it.
No.
You noticed it.
No, I like the diversity in the body shapes. That's one of my favourite things I like about the Concurso, that you can scroll through all the pictures and you get the whole spectrum from guys like Driller Maloney to guys like Taguchi, and all of those body shapes are appreciated and celebrated for their uniqueness. I don't know. I didn't notice that.
What I want you to do is
as distracting as you.
It was distracting, and I'll tell you what. What I want you to do is load up some of those pictures from that, that bodybuilding, and then compare to now. Something's a little amiss. People are shrinking, and people are getting flabby. And this is me saying it, shockingly.
You like New Japan's about to impose some sort of
strict
steroid,
strict testing. They're off their cycle.
Did you ever read the comments from the Concurso post on the Japanese website?
No. Are they brutal?
They're insane.
Really?
Again, I'm using Google Translate for them, but to some of the stuff that... Do you want
Share with
to tell you what the fans are saying about El Desperado?
Please, just a couple, please.
Okay.
If you would.
All right, let's have a look. Where is Despy? Because he was doing something funny where he had the USA flag.
Yes.
What do you call that? What is that called? Like, I can't find the language.
A loincloth or something, or like a G-string?
Singlet, I think is the word. Okay. The arse is tightened very well, and the butt is in a vice. Her tight butt and well-trained thighs are the best. American costumes are also good.
Yes.
I was impressed by how well the cheeks of my butt are trained. The pose is beautiful. I also feel a bit femininity. Make sure to wear this costume for January 4th.
Oh. Nice.
I think it's a difficult part to show off, but I voted for Desperado, who generously showed me. Also, for some reason, I felt that the fingertip and the standing position were beautiful, which made me feel elegant.
They call us the horny podcast, huh? Okay. Right. I'm just saying. It was noticeable to me, and maybe it was to others. That said, match was solid. Really good. And I know I pick up on dumb things, and so I'm going to do
Oh my God, what now?
I know. So
I thought you were going to be celebrating this match, like throwing flowers at it. We're crowning Fujita as the future ace, but
he definitely is.
Oh God, I'm terrified. Go on then.
He definitely is. There were moments with his long hair, Despy, and he had it tied.
I did. Yeah, I got.
What are you going to say
about his long hair? So I was going to say his hair is like his energy bar. So as the match goes on and his energy is getting depleted, his hair's just getting more and more unkempt, and it was just like a big frizzy mess by the end of it to reflect the absolute war that he'd been through. So
yes, absolutely, and there
that enhanced my enjoyment of the match.
It does. It really, you could tell like how great a match is going to be by how wild his hair becomes. But there were times where they would do like a shot and he's on the ground and his back's turned to the camera, where if you just do a quick whoop, whoop, you're like, oh my God, Liger's back. There was a lot, there was a time I was like, whoa, looks just like him. Holy shit. So I did, that was a thing, but the hair absolutely was. Yep. No, I thought the match was great, but look, is he the future? Absolutely. Is Despy still great? 1000%. And even if it was an audible that they called, which again, maybe they did, maybe they didn't at the Dome. There's really not a lot of other people that I am as confident of having continued great matches and continued great feuds than Despy. And And if we're looking forward to future programs, I think we're going to have a pretty well stacked one. No, he is the future, and I did notice Zach as well, sitting up there in the we'll call it the crow's nest of Korakuen Hall. So yeah, no, absolutely. But there were things that distracted me, obviously. But I have a disability. Please, thank
you. Yeah, no, you're not allowed to complain because that would be ableist.
Yes,
but yeah, no, I like the way they're sort of setting up Despy as the guy that Fujita cannot beat. He's tried out a great match in Best of the Super Juniors, couldn't get it done. Here, couldn't get it done. I'm very excited to see Akira challenge afterwards. So he's going to be facing Despy at the anniversary show. Excellent promo. He cut a great promo in a very fluent sounding Japanese. So I know his surname is Akira. I don't know sort of how much Japanese he has sort of grown up speaking, or if there's something that he's gone away and been studying really hard. I know he's been in Japan for a while. He wrestled for All Japan. And it was very cool the way Despy said, ask your boss, your jefe, ask TJP. And then that really set Akira off. He did not like that at all. He just started laying into Despy. And so we're going to get a rematch of that awesome Best of the Super Juniors match they had 2 years ago. And Akira explained backstage that he wanted to have this match in Osaka because that's where he became the All Japan Junior Champion 4 years ago. So he got a really good backstage promo as well. So if you've not seen that, check that out. And I'm very excited for the anniversary show. Although, it does raise questions about the main event because traditionally, and again, not every year, but traditionally we have had at the anniversary show the heavyweight champion against the junior champion. And now that's not happening, which makes you wonder, why not? Why are we not getting Zack Sabre Jr. versus El Desperado with the Suzuki-gun connection that they had? They used to be stable mates together. I thought that would have been a very cool match. So let's stick a pin in that for now, Damon. We'll come back to that when we're previewing the new beginning in Osaka, but just file that away.
All right.
Question mark over the anniversary show main event.
Question mark is set. Perfect.
Aaron says, I love the young juniors getting shots. Okay, so I don't know if you saw my hilarious joke on twitter.com.
No, what?
But I said, we've got Fantastica Mania around the corner, of course, right? And I said that Kosei Fujita, he's lost this match, but now he can go away and prepare for Fantastica Mania by creating a lucha-themed alter ego called Kosei Fujita.
I fucking hate you so much.
So Aaron says, I love the young juniors getting shots. Fujita and Akira are both stars, and I think both would make great junior champs. Who do you think is eventually dethroning Despy? Furthermore, thoughts on fajitas?
Oh. All right. I don't think either of them dethrone. What do you think of that? I think I don't think either of them yet. Now, eventually, maybe, and it might not be Despy who's holding the title, but I don't think yet. What do I think of fajitas? I'll tell you what. I'm going to say something might be a little controversial. I'm going to do it anyway. Not a big fan. Not a big fan. And here's the thing. I don't like the fucking production that has to occur when you get fucking fajitas. Everyone in the fucking restaurant knows who got the fucking fajitas. And they're overrated. They're overrated. No, I don't like it. I don't like the sizzling plate. I don't like I don't like them. How about you, Joel?
I occasionally make them at home. I made them a few months ago for my kids, and they like them, and they were calling them roly-polies.
Ooh. All right.
But I wouldn't order it at a restaurant because that's just humiliating, isn't it? You don't want to be the with a big sizzling platter of fajitas coming to you.
Right. Or it's like those people who get like the fucking
big, like, I'm the main character energy.
Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted to say. Perfect. That's what it is, and it stinks. Just get a fucking burrito and shut your mouth. Thank you.
Right. Let's now go to preview the new beginning in Osaka, and I would like to start by encouraging everyone to stop what they're doing, go to voiceswrestling.com and read the outstanding preview that's been written by our good friends John Carroll and Jay Michael and August Baker as well. It's written That's a preview, and really great stuff. And they've touched on a lot of the points we've been bringing up and plucked out some of the interesting stories from the Road 2 tour, and really great analysis and insight. Ton of fun to read. So please go read it. Give them some love, because there's a lot of hard work and love and effort and care has gone into that. So Thank you very much from those trio of lovely people. Let's begin by looking at the kickoff match. Okay. This is an interesting one here. Katsuya Murashima and El Desperado versus Jeff Cobb and Francesco Akira.
Okay.
So Jeff Cobb relegated to the kickoff match. I just found it was quite an interesting choice. I can't recall them doing something like this before, where they're putting
they've done
big names like Despy and Jeff Cobb and Akira's there as well on the kickoff match. Don't know. That just seems quite curious to me.
I mean, not for nothing. They do it with Wrestle Kingdom's a little bit of a different egg, mind you, but you have guys main event and then not even on the show.
Right, so this is people just trying to get their Eddie and Arena Osaka payday.
Right, you know what I mean? It is a weird placement. I will agree. And, I think the finish is just sticks out like a sore thumb, mind you, when they do this. But, weird placement. I would agree with you and say that when you see the lineup and just considering the fact of everything that happened just mere days ago, it does leave you scratching your head a little bit. Like, why wouldn't this be? I don't know. Joe, if I had an answer for you, I'd give it to you. I don't know why. And I think a lot of people are thinking the same thing. So it's just what they
do. You think there's any significance to Jeff Cobb being there? Like, I didn't really sort of press you on this, but what do you think is up with him? Do you think this is just him working and he's, I don't know, going to come out and challenge someone later on the show for some sort of singles title? Yeah, I mean, he's never been a guy who is particularly good at masking his feelings or dislike towards people or situations. But
us included.
I guess you, Steve, you just don't really care if he's staying or going.
Look, he's really good. I don't want to mislead anyone into thinking that I don't think that Jeff Cobb is really good. He's been here forever. There's a ceiling that we're just not going to break through. And I question aloud, what do we do next with Jeff Cobb? Right? It would not break my heart if he said, you know what, I'm going to go to the route of other New Japan Pro Wrestling employees, and I'm going to go to another promotion. I don't know if I would be that upset, Joel. Again, I think he's super talented. I think he's very good. I'm just at the point where it's like, okay, how long has Jeff Cobb been associated with New Japan Pro Wrestling? I mean, it's before the fucking Puricast days. And how long ago was that? So I'm good. I really am. I'm good. But here's the thing, too. I don't think anybody could look me in the eye with a straight face and tell me that companies are breaking down the door for Jeff Cobb. We've gone through this, it feels like every 2 years or every 3 years or whatever, of he's going. There's interest. He's going. And it never happens. Until I see it, then it happens. Great. But until that time comes, I don't think anybody's breaking down the doors. I think people would take him. But again, it's not like there's this fucking bidding war for Jeff Cobb. And that is not a disrespect to Jeff Cobb. That is just the state of pro wrestling as it is right now. Could he wind up in WWE in 6 months, 8 months? I mean, if his contract allows him to, possibly. But could he more than likely stay in New Japan Pro Wrestling and do his thing? And I think that's more likely than any of the other scenarios. I really do.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, It's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Oh, fair enough. Can't really disagree with much of that, to be honest. First match then on the main card is the Hiroshi Tanahashi Final Road Kinship match, where Tanahashi will be facing off against Togi Makabe. There's been some really great stuff written by J. Michael on the preview about the history between Tanahashi. I think it was Tanahashi's first match was against the then called Shinya Makabe. So, we're not expecting a work rate classic here, but
No.
I think a match that justifies its existence by the history between them and the popularity of the two wrestlers. And we might all make fun of Togi Makabe and whether or not he decides he's going to bump on a given night, but he's a pretty big name in Japanese pop culture. I understand because of the way he's kind of presented his gimmick as the big, scary, gruff person who likes to eat sweet treats. So I think there will be a lot of casual domestic fan interest in this match. And I think there's a chance for them to do something that resonates on an emotional level, if not necessarily troubling anyone's match of the year lists. I'm quite intrigued to see what this one looks like, to be honest.
Me too. Me too. And like I said, if we had a time machine and we can go back in time, and this was main event New Japan Pro Wrestling, and very good to outstanding matches. I know people might be shocked at that, but yes, people get old and injuries occur, and Father Time waits for no one, and okay. But I will also say that you have two of some of the most intelligent pro wrestlers that this company has ever had. So if there are any two wrestlers that I trust to kind of tug at the heartstrings a little bit and give everyone the feels, it's these two. Which strangely enough could translate into a really good match, or at least a match that is over with, that you're like, that was fun. That was really good. That was excellent. And again, nobody's looking for crazy moves and kickouts and comeback spots and all that. But you are looking for two guys who know how to do the art of pro wrestling to kind of take us back in time a little bit, give us the feels, get us ready for what this whole entire year will be, and kicking it off. Right? I trust these guys tremendously. I think I'll go so far as to say this. I think this match is going to be really fucking good and special, and they're not going to give them a shitload of time, but I think the time that they do give them, every second will count. How about that? Every second will count.
Okay, let's talk about the next match then, and I'm going to make you guess who I'm describing here. This is from the Concurso people, the fans' reasons they submit for voting. Along with the beauty of the bumps and bumps from the trapezius to the deltoids, all of the muscles are beautifully finished down to the smallest details. It's as if it were a sculpture. I would like to make it a life-size figure and display it in my home. Here's another. A physical beauty that makes you think you've lost your way into the Louvre Museum. I want to make chocolate by taking a mold. Art. Wow. Who are we talking about here?
Oh, it's obvious, isn't it? Joe Lanza. Voices of Wrestling, right? And that's not right. Wow. Well, listen, I'm going to say, it's got to be fucking. I don't know. Can I guess? I'm going to guess. I don't know.
You being such a body guy, Damon, who is that? Who's got the best body in New Japan?
Who's got the best body? Well, in those pictures, I think Clark Connors was looking pretty sweet. Not for nothing. Am I warm? Heel or face?
Heel.
Drilla Maloney.
Correct.
Whoa!
Well done. Yeah,
Look at me.
It's Drilla Maloney.
Woo-hoo!
So that seamless segue brings us on to discuss the second match, a special singles match between Shingo Takagi and Drilla Maloney. So I, about a year ago, speculated that there might be a lot of potential upside with Drilla as a heavyweight single star. Because he looks the part, he looks like $1 million, and he's still relatively young. He's got time on his side. He's 27 years old, and I think he's got really good charisma. But put him in some singles matches, and I haven't been blown away by any of them. They've all left me feeling a little bit underwhelmed. So I'm wondering, does he have the skill and the talent to be a serious contender as a singles heavyweight star? And I think this is a huge test for him. Yeah. Shingo, for his part, dare I say, the sort of Never style act's getting a little bit stale for him. I think there's more complexity and more depth to Shingo when he's doing different stuff, like when he's sort of dabbling in the main event scene, sort of challenging for heavyweight titles. Or maybe it's time for him to think about doing some tag stuff. I don't know. I just think this might be an interesting time for him to pivot away from doing the cookie cutter, hard-hitting identikit match. But either way, I think this is going to be an interesting barometer for where both these guys are in their respective careers, because I've not seen any singles matches from Drilla that I've thought, wow, yeah, this guy is a bona fide future single star. And Shingo, I don't know, left me feeling slightly underwhelmed by his output at Wrestle Kingdom. I don't know if that's a controversial thing to say, but this match has more questions for me than answers. I can't sort of confidently say, yeah, this is going to be an absolute banger and it's going to launch Drilla Maloney's singles heavyweight career. I'm a little bit nervous about this one, actually.
But it could. And are there any other people on that roster that you would have more confidence in having a breakout, coming out, I'm a big time player match than with Shingo? Like I trust him with the fucking keys to the shop in that regard. So I think, to me, there's more pressure on Drilla Maloney than Shingo in kind of raising his game. Like, if you can't have a good match with fucking I just jammed my finger. If you can't have a good match with, did you hear that? Did you hear that thing?
I did, yeah.
So what I was doing, just to let you know, so I'm wearing these track pants, and I had a little itch on my thigh or my calf, right? So I was kind of pulling up from my knee, right, to kind of hike up the leg a little bit so I can get in there and dig in. And I slipped, and it hit the bottom of the desk that I'm at, and it just literally just went wham right on the knuckle of the thumb.
That's extremely unprofessional, Damon, to make that sort of noise when we're recording the podcast.
I 1,000% agree. 1,000%. My apologies to everyone. But my point being is that my thumb is broken, and again, if you're going to have a singles match against anyone in that company, and you kind of want to show what you got, I think Shingo's a fantastic dance partner. And this will tell a lot. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this will be outstanding, great, knock your fucking pants off, all that shit. I don't know. I have doubts. I have the similar doubts that you have. But this is where the fucking rubber meets the road. Like, this is it. Like, if you can't have a good match with Shingo, then okay, now we're questioning if that's a good decision or not. So I do feel like there is a little bit of pressure. I feel like there are higher stakes for Drilla than maybe Shingo. But again, I'm confident that again, if you're going to have a good match, Shingo's going to be a great dance partner, that they can pull it off. Yes. But I will be watching, and I think a lot of people will be too, because we want to be able to put our trust in that. So there we are.
Who do you think wins?
New Japan's weird. Like, I don't know, and I don't know if that's just Western pro wrestling coming out, but like, I feel like, well, of course Drilla Maloney wins. You're trying to You're trying to give him a little push, big guy win, all that stuff. But the truth of the matter is that in situations like this, a lot of times there's a long ladder to climb to get there. So I don't think a win is a fucking guarantee. They should have him win though, because a great match and a win would mean a lot more than a great match and a loss. But I'm going to say that he does not win.
If I'm remembering correctly, he beat Naito, didn't he, in some gauntlet match, gimmick match that they had.
I think you are correct, but it's going to take me a little bit to recall.
That wasn't the cleanest win, admittedly.
Right.
Because I've just been looking at his cage match for the last few singles matches he's had.
Who's he had?
They're not very, very well rated. So there's Yota Tsuji from October. That was Royal Quest. So that's 5.7. Ninja Mac 4.57. Hiromu 5.78. Ishimori 5.84. Kushida 5.95. Doki 4.90.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not like really impressive output there, but
okay. But I will say this as well. In your heart of hearts, I don't necessarily think Drilla Maloney has a style that fits in very well at being a junior. And I think his style fits more with Shingo. Would you agree to that or disagree?
I don't know. And I know that's a real cop-out. That's why I find this match intriguing.
Yes.
I think it will be, and also very instructive from a booking perspective, to see what the company thinks of him, because, you know, you could conceivably see this being a situation where he gets a shock win and then gets his way into New Japan Cup, because they might be, you know, maybe we are looking at a situation where guys like Jeff Cobb are leaving. Maybe there is something to the David Finlay rumours. Maybe he's leaving and they're thinking, okay, well, we need to establish some new foreign stars here. And this is, we know that New Japan are a body company and they value that sort of stuff. And if you win the conquest, then you are in line to get a mega push, as we saw with Doki. So not for nothing, as you would say.
I would say that. We do have to start heating some guys up. We do have that dead spot of Fantastic Mania coming up. And, then right around the corner is New Japan Cup. So, yeah, it would be good to start heating some guys up.
Yeah, Daryl says Driller down versus Shingo seems like it could be a match that could potentially escalate the career of the War Dog. Can we imagine him being included in the same air as Yuya, Tsuji, Oiwa, Kidd, Fujita, et al.? What does he need to do to get out of that level? Well, have good matches. That would be a start. So, yeah, let's see. Can he have a very good match against Shingo? And then we'll take it from there.
Perfect. Yep.
Third match, special singles match, Shota Umino versus Great-O-Khan. The build-up for this has been all over the place. So there was Shota deciding to defend the honour of all like the shitty merchandise and sort of homemade trinkets that people were giving him. And he cut, I think I mentioned it last week, cut an impact, because Great-O-Khan started attacking that stuff and like tearing it and throwing stuff on the floor. And then Shota cut an impassioned promo defending people's trinkets, saying, I've got to fight for the honour of people's pen lights. They mean so much to people and I'm not going to let Great-O-Khan come out here and sully that. And I was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? He's completely lost it. This Wrestle Kingdom thing, the guy's lost his mind. The last couple of promos have just been like the backstage stuff, the backstage comments from Shota. He just looks absolutely lost. And I don't know if that's deliberate and, you know, we're cooking something, but I'm not sure if I've got that level of faith in him to be doing something interesting. So Great-O-Khan got some tiny scissors out in the last match and started cutting out bits of Shota's terrible hair. And his hair is truly awful. It looks all sort of frazzled and orange. It looks just horrendous. And I think Great-O-Khan's probably doing him a favour there. I don't know if Great-O-Khan's trying to sort of pivot this into being a stipulation thing, like a loser gets their haircut match, which he seems to try to do a lot without much success, because he seems to have done that a few times where he's got the scissors out and seems to be angling for hair versus hair, and it's never really happened. But Shota, man, the boy's not right. Like when Great-O-Khan cut his hair off, was throwing his hair at his face. you would expect boos for that, but people started cheering him. They were chanting his name, like you're going, oh God, like they were loving it. And then weirdly in the backstage promo stuff, while that was going on, Phantasmo and Watto are backstage doing their comments, and then Phantasmo can hear the Oka chants, and he's like, oh, hold on a second, I can hear them chanting for Okan. Should we go out and help Shota? Nah, he's probably okay. He can look after himself. And they just walked off. So there's just some extremely bizarre things happening with Shota Umino, and I don't know how much of it is a work and how much is a shoot. And also what was hilarious is that the comments from the Gabe Kidd interview, where he's talking about Shota, and Gabe says he was given the biggest chance of his life and he fucking flopped it bad. You think you're going to come out and kiss a baby and people will believe in you. You can't replicate something you've seen other people do and expect it to work without understanding why they did it. Okada wasn't a huge star because of moves he did. He got reactions because of his presence. Because of that, he was putting himself out into the world. Umino doesn't have a clue. No clue and no heart.
Wow. Look,
Korakuen should win this, man. I don't think he will, but he should.
Yes. Yeah. And how many stop and starts have there been on Great Okan? He doesn't have it. Like, it's just not there. And everything is just forced fed. And I'm sorry. Like, it's just, if anybody needs, I know we had a little joke and a little laugh on it yesterday, but if anybody needs a fucking trip to Mexico, it's that dude. Like, he's just, like, there's no reason why anyone can connect with the guy. Like, it just seems so cold. And I don't mean cold as in, like, evil and dastardly and he's a fucking ghoul. I'm saying it's just insincerity.
There's no soul.
Yeah,
it's soulless.
No, soulless. Thank you. Again, the soul train. He's got no soul. You like, seriously, there's not a sentence that can speak as loudly and as clearly as the man has no fucking soul. That's exactly what it is. There's nothing to connect to. And until that changes, I gotta shrug my shoulders at this point. Like, it's just not working the way it is. He's not, and you're right, he is not comfortable with who he is. And he's not comfortable projecting that and that's a skill that you need if you want to be a pro wrestler. He doesn't have that yet. Now, will a new coat of paint make that work? I'm going to give you a solid, I don't have a fucking clue. But I know for sure that what is being delivered is weak at best and cringeworthy. And I think a lot of people would be using that as the bar. Cringeworthy. Is he not cringeworthy? Or is he just beyond?
He's embarrassing. And I don't think the fresh coat of paint will work because he's the same guy underneath and he's not got it.
Look, again, you can rewind the clock and go back to Naito, and a lot of the same things were said of him. And it took that horrific match, was it Fale? Where in Osaka, where he literally got booed out of the fucking joint.
I think it was Ishii, wasn't it?
You might be right.
But I will say this, in defense of that, right, I know there are a lot of parallels there, but Stardust Genius Naito was a way better wrestler bell to bell than Shota Umino is.
I would agree. I would agree. But it took that, and then the little trip, and then and it wasn't like it just instantly caught fire. Like, there were people that were scratching their head. Me being maybe the loudest voice in the room.
Yeah, you hated it. It was great.
I hated it. I was like, what in the fuck is this? If he doesn't care, why do I care? What is this? Like, apathy? I'm gonna take off my clothes real slow because I'm cool. All right, I didn't get it. I'll be the first fucking person to admit I was dumb as a fucking rock to it. And then look at him. The guy arguably was the most popular guy in the company for pockets of time during a period where they had a lot of guys that you could say were the most popular guy. He doesn't have it. Shota doesn't have it. And again, you always kind of, when people are in this situation under the same circumstances, nepotism always, dad pulling the strings. Well, that's the only reason. He's gotten more breaks than maybe other people in the dojo. All the things come bubbling up. The bottom line is this. If you're a pro wrestling company and you're looking at this situation, you have to be concerned because you put a lot of eggs in that basket and none of them are fucking hatching. So we'll give it another shot, Joel. We're going to give it another shot and we'll see how it turns out. I am not expecting anything more than what we've got. And that's not good.
John in the chat quite rightly points out Stardust Genius Naito was also way more over at one point before he came back from the injury and won the 2013 G1 when everyone wanted Nakamura. So way more over than Umino has been up to this point. So I think, obviously the parallels are there and I understand why people are drawing them, but it's a dangerous game to be saying, well, Naito figured it out, so Shota's going to be fine.
Correct.
I know that's not what you're saying. I don't want to misrepresent what you're saying, but I do see that narrative out there a lot.
I hear you, and trust me, that was closer to my narrative than not. But I do agree with that. That yes, I mean Naito was 10 times the fucking worker at the same time that Shota is right now. Like it's night and day. I absolutely agree with it. The fact still remains, though, that he was not one of the more beloved characters of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like it just
he wanted it though. He wanted
Correct.
it, and I don't know if Shota Umino wants it. I don't know if he's been forced into it and is sort of living. It's his dad living vicariously through him, and he's been kind of railroaded into doing something that he doesn't really want to do, or he doesn't quite believe that he's good enough to do.
You know what it sadly reminds me of a little bit, and I know this might be a little bit of a stretch, but let's fucking go for it. It feels to me. And I thought of this previously, but never mentioned it, but let's do it now. It reminds me of the Von Erichs, where you see people in that family who obviously shouldn't be pro wrestlers, but were kind of put into it because of dad and the legacy and all that shit. And I don't know if it's the same thing. I can't sit here and tell you that it is. But all that I see is a guy who just does not look like he's enjoying his time on Earth, right?
Yeah, he looks fucking miserable.
Seriously,
really like if you've not seen it, listeners, go back and watch the backstage comments from the show on the 3rd and the 4th. The guy looks miserable.
Not only miserable, Joel, but like, and
Get
I hate
behind the eyes, hollow.
Yeah,
He's gone hollow.
He's gone hollow, and also you can almost see the anxiousness in his brain taking over. Like he just doesn't feel comfortable with his own skin. And I feel bad for even mentioning it because that's just a horrible feeling. But look, we're gonna try again, and maybe the Great Okan can fucking make magic happen. I wouldn't bet the fucking mortgage on it. Let's put it that way.
4th match, special singles match, Taichi versus Sanada. Yeah, there's been some quite interesting stuff in the build-up to this, where on the 3rd, they did an angle where Sanada grabbed Taichi's foot and put it between his legs and pretended to the referee, he kicked me in the willy, and then Taichi got disqualified. And then the next night, he did that again, and the referee was like, no, I saw you put his foot there. And then Taichi was like, yeah, that's not how you do it. This is how you do it. And just booted Sanada straight in the dick and got disqualified. And it was great. Like, Taichi was fired up. He was battering him after the bell. He was going after him with a chair. He had to be held back. And whilst Sanada, since this heel turn, has been doing sort of lazy Yujiro tier heel shtick, Taichi is doing all the heavy lifting in this feud and bringing all the fire and all the intensity to it. So this might be a good match, and if it is, it's going to be because of Taichi, not because of Sanada. Taichi completely lost it. I imagine that's a standard reaction when you're told you have to have an extended feud with Sanada. But another situation, not dissimilar to the prior match, where there's the guy that I think should win, probably won't win. Like, I would love to see this Taichi getting a big win, and fuck it. Maybe we do go into an anniversary main event of Zack defending the title against Taichi. But we can't have nice things in this company. But yeah, Taichi, top work.
The only thing that has me somewhat concerned is, you know, how I talk about how guys can afford to take a loss, right? It's not going to hurt them, blah, blah, blah. I'm worried about Taichi. I don't know if he can afford a loss.
Companies don't value him, do they? They don't.
It doesn't feel like
rate him.
Not right now, and not only right now, and when I say right now, I mean the past year, right? And maybe even more. Yeah, like I would love to see them do something fun and creative with him. Because here's the thing: the guy, you know, if we're using the KOP title, remember that as any barometer, at least the guy had some creative fucking ideas. And he tried his best to make it work. And he's trying his best here to make it work. I kind of feel sorry for the guy. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why it feels like he's constantly having to take a back seat. I would love to see him get a win. I would love to see him heated up for New Japan Cup. If anybody could use a win, it's him. It really. I can't. There are a lot of people that could use a win. Taichi could use a fucking win just to get him back in front of people and in their minds of, okay, here's a serious threat. Because at one point he was, and I don't know what he did to not. And I could use a win here for the big guy. And Sonata, I don't give a fuck about. I'm actually tired of trying to do mental gymnastics to say that he should be anywhere near the top of the card. I'm really fucking done with that kind of talk because it's been he's given talk about a guy who's been given every fucking opportunity. How many fucking factions has he been in? How many new coats of paint that all eerily seem like just shades of blue? I'm fucking good. Thanks. Give Taichi the win, please, here. Right here.
Fifth match, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships is Rocky Romero and Yo Roppongi Revice challenging the champions, the Ichiban Sweet Boys, Kosei Fujita and Robbie Eagles. The build-up to this has been very funny. So Yo has been doing his backstage promos with an unplugged rotary dial phone.
Ooh.
And he rings it up and then he asks Rocky's mum if he's allowed to talk to him. And then has been having imaginary conversations with Rocky over this rotary dial phone, which is very funny, but also kind of embarrassing. Just, I think, I don't know, it doesn't really reflect
Yo's not
that
for
one
me.
on Rocky,
I'm going to tell you
yeah.
right, flat out. He's just not for me. It's just he's too quirky. He's very Michael Cera-ish, and I don't like it. He makes it uncomfortable for me. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan. I'm not a... Here... Look, well, listen. All he has to do is call up Tony Khan. You can get a hold of Ron. I mean, it should be that hard. Don't call his mom. That being said, it does have the potential.
If he phones Tony Khan, do you think he appears on Tony Khan's phone as Tempura Boy #1?
It comes up as. Oh, never mind. I'm not. You know what? I could get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble for that one. Oh, see, I showed a little restraint. Is that who is it? Oh, we got to run
Scrumpy. Got Scrumpy running.
Meow. This match will be good, right? I think this match will be really good. I think this match will be fucking tremendous, and I don't think we'll see a title change. But
you sure? Rocky's got the book.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Keep himself at the top, Dusty. Come on, Big Dust. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say, I'm going to say, I hope not, because I do enjoy our current.
I think he's going to do it. I think he's booking himself to win.
You think so?
Yeah.
Do you honestly think so?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Because they just lost the strong openweight tag team championship.
Can't take two.
You're
right?
losing twice, brother.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. He does have a couple of Mexico tours. You know, he's got to bring some hardware down there. Got to look good.
This could be Tony's revenge. He's like, right, Rocky, you are going to book yourself. We're going to strike back at New Japan after they fucked us by, enticing Kenny and the Young Bucks to work over there and making Kenny have a competitive non-squash match with Gabe Kidd. I want you to go over there, book yourself to win those junior tag team titles, and then hold them to ransom.
Yes, nice. And appear on TNT television. Yeah. No, I'm sticking with Big Robbie, Eagles, Eagles, and the TMDK crew to maintain and retain.
Daryl says, what will be the next title match Rocky will book himself for? Do you think he completes his bingo card by the end of the year, or perhaps sooner? Morning Progress says... putting himself in the G1. Morning Progress says, at this point, has Yo reached his ceiling, stuck in the Roppongi Vortex level, or is there still something else to come? Have too many others evolved past him? Yeah, I think he's just getting lapped by that next generation. I'm looking at guys like Watto and Fujita and Akira.
Yeah.
I think they've gone past it. Doki, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's staying up late at night thinking Yo's going to be, your fucking global champion or anything like that. That's for sure.
Sixth match is the Never Openweight Championship, where Konosuke Takeshita is having his third defense against Oleg Boltin.
Let's go. Well, speaking of coming out parties,
if he makes it off the Jericho cruise, we might need to send a rescue team to get him off.
Is that where he is right now?
I think so. Yeah, and Liger was on there as well, wasn't he?
Was he on there? He was asked to go. I don't know if he was. If he's there, if he's going. Did he go?
I'll have to. I think I did see him. Yeah.
Oh, I want to see him in his mask on a fucking.
Yeah, he attended the cruise as a guest of honor.
Oh, why wasn't I there? By the way, I heard a rumor, and I need people to verify if possible, because I'm too lazy to do it. There's a convention in New York. I think it's called Big Fest or some shit like that. And I thought I saw somewhere that Liger was going to be there. And if he is, I'm going to fucking go. But I haven't seen it anywhere. Like, somebody said that he was going to be there. So if anyone can confirm that, please let me know. Because I miss him. I'm going to hold him.
How would you have felt? So Jericho did ask Liger to do one last match on the Jericho cruise.
Right.
Liger turned it down. How would you have felt if Liger had said, yeah, go on then, let's do one final match?
It wouldn't surprise me, let's put it that way, because this is pro wrestling. And you see it all the time too. Bands break up and it's their final fucking tour and you pay $5 million and then a year later, wow, we're coming back, new album. And you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm looking at you, Nine Inch Nails. I would be disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I would be disappointed. Because, again, I went to his last match was supposed to be the fucking Tokyo Dome. But I'm also very proud of him that he hasn't. I think it's very admirable to me, the fact that he hasn't. Because, again, it's pro wrestling, and how many times have you seen it? So, yes, I'm very happy with that. But, yeah, I need to know about that fucking New York convention, because I need to make that happen.
So Takeshita versus Boltin.
Oh yes. Well, again, we talked about coming out matches, right? And trying to make a big splash and being taken seriously. Like, I feel like there's a lot of these matches are setups for New Japan Cup. Like, these are like heat up matches for New Japan Cup. I'm not saying that Boltin wins here, right? There's no way, right? Why? Would you do it? I wouldn't do it, Joel. He's not winning this.
The only logic behind that would be if we're freeing up Takeshita to win New Japan Cup and win the title.
Okay, but that's much down the road, right? I mean, New Japan Cup's not until fucking March. We have plenty of time, right? For that. I don't know. I can't say it. Can you? I just can't say it. I got to be honest with you. Now, you can have a competitive match, and you can shine. I can't see the title. And here's the thing. He can have the title all throughout the New Japan Cup. It doesn't matter. He can hold on to it. But, yeah, it does look weird if he does lose it. before. Yeah, I see your point. And it does give a little bit of space. I don't know. I just can't say it. I'm going to say no. It does not.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think this is going to be a pretty comfortable win for Konosuke Takeshita, but I'm just excited the fact that they're putting Bolt in these spots.
Yep. But here's the thing. I think this is
Bolton beat
speed.
him during G1. Sorry, that's just popped into my head. This is a rematch of the G1 match. So I guess it's Takeshita getting his win back.
Getting the win back. I think you can go to the bank with that.
So the next match.
Yes.
So the next match, I'm getting there. Calm
Come on.
down. The next match is Tendedero. It's the Tendedero match.
I'm sorry?
The 7th match. It's the Tendedero match. It's the IWGP Tag Team Championships with the challengers, Hiromu Takahashi and Tetsuya Naito, and their new finishing move, a double clothesline that they've called Tendedero.
Okay.
Tendedero, of course, being Spanish for clothesline. They are challenging the 106th champions, Nicholas Jackson, Matthew Jackson, the Young Bucks.
The youngest Bucks.
Tendedero is the story of this match. So Naito and Hiromu have formulated a new finishing move called Tendedero. There have been some fantastic backstage segments where they've been discussing Tendedero. So Tendedero is going to figure very prominently into this match. And the big question is going to be, do the Young Bucks have the wherewithal to survive and avoid Tendedero? Because if Tendedero lands, everyone knows that if Tendedero means you're staring at the lights. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure the Young Bucks are at home studying Tendedero and formulating many strategies to avoid and reverse Tendedero, but it's never been done before. So the odds are against him. So how do you see this one playing out? Do you think the Young Bucks survive Tendedero?
How could you survive Tendedero? It's impossible, especially when it's your favorite word in all of the languages that are on Earth. Tendedero. You would think that this would be a title change, wouldn't you?
You know what? I kind of hope that it isn't.
Ooh,
because I'm kind of digging this Young Bucks run.
Wow,
they're really good at Wrestle Kingdom.
I
quite like them to keep the belts.
Wow, look at you, big time Nicholas and Matthew fan.
They love New Japan, Damon.
They do,
and by extension, they love us.
And New Japan definitely rules out their fucking red carpet for them. That's for sure.
Just, I want them to win because I think it would probably annoy Tony Khan.
That's what it is. I was about to say it somehow distracts them from being, an integral part of the backstage area of AEW television.
They're phoning up Tony afterwards. Well, Tony, there's good news and bad news. The good news is we survived Tendedero.
Oh.
Tony's like, oh, fuck. Have you still got those belts?
I told you. Couldn't avoid it.
Look, Tony, so we're not going to be available for TV for the next 8 months because we've got to get ready for World Tag League. It's serious business. We need to train because the Tendedero boys, they're going to be back, and who knows what they
got up their sleeves. Yeah. I liked the tag team, the Los Ingobernables. I do like that, and I think this might be a little off-center, but I like the idea of introducing someone in a tag scenario who might be a junior, introducing them in a tag scenario to get over the fact that he's moved up to a heavy. Not to say that he is, but you could, right? And I think that makes that transition a little bit easier. I know he's probably, this tweener. He could go back and forth, but I think that's on the table. I have enjoyed Young Bucks too. It's not like you see him every fucking week on New Japan television, but I don't know. This just does it doesn't scream, but it says it quite loudly in their American voice that we're changing titles, and thanks for the memories. It does feel that way, but I could be wrong.
I wonder if Matt Jackson will see Sho and or Yo backstage, and then his phantom back pain will start flaring up again. You remember they had that match at I think it was New Beginning in 2018, and then Matt Jackson continued to sell that injured back for the next 6 years.
They're like, no joke. It was on the ramp, wasn't it?
They really fucked him up.
Yeah, I mean, it really. I mean, I'm sure it was something that probably, he might have had some uncomfortable nights, but yeah, oh my god, that went on. Talk about committing to a fucking bit. Woo, good for him. Good for him. And here's the thing too. I will say this: every interaction I've ever had with the Bucks, and there haven't been many, and trust me, they probably wouldn't even have fucking remembered. But there was one time in the Dome where it was like, "Oh my god, you guys, you're Philly guys. What are you doing here?" That's what we always got in the beginning. What are you guys doing here? We're enjoying pro wrestling. I don't know. It just seems like it's going to be a title change, but okay, I could be wrong. And if it doesn't, I'm okay with it. But I would like to see a Naito Hiromu tag run. I think that'd be fun.
Then we move on to the 8th match, the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Yota Tsuji defending against Gabe Kidd.
All right.
It's absolutely electric interactions between them at Korakuen Hall when they had a brawl in the crowd, and then it came back into the ring.
Yep.
And Tsuji was about to do the G Blaster, and then Gabe countered it with a lariat. And he did the pile driver, and then he was up on the turnbuckle screaming. The fans were just losing their minds. Like, they love this guy. And there's been a brilliant interview with him on the New Japan website, and I think there's a video version of it as well, where he talks about everything from the Kenny match. He's talked about his relationship with Tanahashi, how he was FaceTiming Tanahashi from the psychiatric ward.
Yeah.
And Tanahashi was talking to him for like an hour every day, making sure that he was all right. And then you can see why that resonated so much with him at Wrestle Kingdom. And those tears from Tanahashi were real. Gabe he's ascended. He is in a really unique spot at the moment. He's become sort of the self-appointed and fan-appointed defender of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And he's not a heel anymore. I think he's evolved past that. And that's not to say he's a pure babyface either. But he is a guy that the fans love now because they know he's real and they believe in what he's selling about how much New Japan Pro Wrestling means to him, how he nearly died for it. And the way he calls it like it is, he buries people that need to be buried. We've discussed his comments about Shota Umino, and it was really interesting. He was full of praise for Yota Tsuji, and he acknowledged that he says that the real three musketeers are himself, Tsuji, and Yuya. I think was the third one that he said.
Correct.
So it's just really interesting the way he's kind of framing this match as he's saying that this match he's got against Yota Tsuji is going to be next year's Tokyo Dome main event as well. He says he's so confident he is going to be world champion. Tsuji's going to be the only guy who's on his level challenging him, and it really does feel like the two of the hottest guys in the company and a future. Yeah, I could easily see that as a future Tokyo Dome main event. These two seem like the two guys who have really resonated with people and look the closest for us to be able to truly say, yeah, these are new stars in the making and sort of ascending before our very eyes. So I can't wait to see what this match looks like. And of course, there's also the sort of spectre of David Finlay and Gabe Kidd's position within the War Dogs and whether that is sustainable for him to be aligned with a heel faction. And a lot of people are fantasy booking and predicting. I'm kind of quite keen to step back on that, and I just want to see how it plays out, rather than me prognosticating saying, "Oh, I think David Finlay's going to come out here and cost Gabe this and that." Like, there's nothing wrong with that, and I can see why people enjoy doing that. But I want to enjoy the ride. I'm on the Gabe Kidd ride, man, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's his year, right? It's his year to continue to elevate his own path. I love the fact that it feels like in this whole progression of all the young guys who are taking big time leaps in their career, it's two of those guys in the ring that are being asked to carry a pretty heavy load on this show. Like, I think that's another little benchmark, a little thing that they can, little feather in their cap, so to speak. And it is exciting to think, okay, eventually the cream rises to the top, right? So you have this mix of young lions trying to take it to the next level and constantly taking it to the next level and everything. And, there's people that move up 3 spaces and then move back 2 and then up. And then, it's all those guys. And if you did like a little, it kind of looks like one of those equalizer settings on fucking Winamp back in the day, where it's like, okay, again, the cream rises to the top. I'm curious your thoughts here. And I agree everything that you said. Would you say that the vast majority of his matches, and when I say his, Gabe's matches, tend to fall into the brawling category?
I don't think so. I think what he laid out when talking about the Kenny match was that he wanted to win with basic, simple wrestling moves. There's nothing really flashy in his moveset, but we're looking at things like the octopus stretch that he did and a Gotch style pile driver and things like that. So these are basic moves that are rooted in New Japan history, but done with a deep, firm understanding of when to use them. Like, when is the right time to do it for maximum effect. So, there is a bit of a crowd brawling element, but I think it would be a bit reductive to say that, he's a crowd brawler. Because I think he is, whilst that is a facet of his game, I think he is a very intelligent pro wrestler. He gets it. He gets pro wrestling.
I believe it. I believe when you say that. I do. Here's, again, I'm not saying that I have I don't have confidence in this. I do. I absolutely 1,000% do. But here's what I'm going to lay on the table. One, the match that you described was with arguably one of the greatest pro wrestlers in our lifetime. Right? His first match back, a lot of that riding on, him performing well, being up to par, and proving to himself that he could still do it. Gabe absolutely was there for every second of it and helped elevate that match and made it special. I'm not taking anything away from Gabe Kidd. Here's where we are now, though. We've got two guys that are on very similar trajectories when it comes to their careers. And dare I say that Gabe Kidd is maybe even a step past him, right? I think this match and where it's placed and what it's about and all the above, there are a lot at there is a lot at stake here. Because again, when you have someone like Kenny, I'm not saying it's easier. In fact, it might be physically more demanding. But I think in this scenario, you're really going to see how far these two have progressed. Because they're relying on each other to get to the finish line here. So that's where my curiosity is beyond peak. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like such a line in the sand for both of these guys to see, okay. And again, I'm not trying to be pessimistic, doubting Thomas here. All I'm saying is that, okay, you did it here. Can you do it here? And I have faith that you can. But you still got to fucking deliver, right? And that is both exciting and fun, and because when they do it, it's like, yes, fuck yes, here we fucking go. And if they don't do it, you are a little bit like, all right, it was one match, and we don't want to again, I think there is a lot there. Joel, if they blow it out of the water in this match, it will have ramifications for not only the company, but these two careers. Dare I say, beyond the Kenny match? Like, if they tear the house down in this match, how much of a fucking rocket is going to be strapped to both these guys? And why not?
It's like sending out a message to the fans like, the future's safe. We're in good hands here.
Yep. And trust me, you don't think every New Japan Pro Wrestling fan that sat through the pandemic and clap crowds and building these kids up and having them semi-main event shows and big-time Tokyo Dome main event, it's fun. It's exciting. And now it's both of these guys, again, on the same level, so to speak, in a semi-main event on a pretty big show. If they deliver, fuck. Talk about being pumped for this company. Talk about being excited. You're in good hands. That feels really fucking good.
And it's got so much going for it already. Like, the vibes. Again, if you watch that post-match brawl between the two of them, the crowd are electrified. Like, they cannot wait for this. And I bet the Osaka crowd are going to be living and dying by this. So,
what a great
in a way, I think, like, they've done a lot of the hard work already. So, they could probably go out there and just have like a basic match and the crowd will be losing their minds. But yeah, it's really, in a way, I don't think it matters who wins. I think it's just, I'm desperate for it to deliver because it is a mission statement about the future of this company. Because these are the two guys that we're, at the moment, I think, hanging our hats on, being like, yeah, if we've got to put the Super J-Cast guns to our head and say, pick two guys that are going to be future stars and main event the Tokyo Domes, these would be your guys. So if you're saying that, this has got to deliver. And I'm intrigued to see how the crowd landed this, like who they end up cheering for.
I think they go batshit. I mean,
for who?
It. They go batshit for it. It'll go back and forth, which would be fantastic. What a smart decision too. Like, you're going to have this match in that city with that crowd potentially. Like, this is going to be smoking red hot, and they have.
I'm always thinking, like, do you want to have a loser here? I'm almost thinking, do you do like a non-finish somehow?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean,
someone interfering.
Look, somebody's got to lose. Yeah, I think you can't be you can't be wimpy about this. Somebody's got to lose. We'll get you back to where you need to be, but somebody's got to lose because I think a non-finish might piss off that crowd. I don't think that crowd would dig it. I think the expectation is a clean finish.
Well, I'll tell you what would get the crowd back on board after you've pissed them off with a non-finish.
Here we go.
Hirooki Goto title win.
Dude, I've never been more this could happen than I am right now. Like, and again, we're talking about it's almost his fucking gimmick to give him these shots and have him just inches short of the finish line. Couldn't fucking make it happen. Was he 0-7, 0-8? What? Some preposterous number. And he does it. And he wins. And it's the fucking comeback of the fucking decade. He pulls it off. The story's there. The feel good is there. I don't think anybody would complain. You give him the title, and you can take it right off of him. There's fucking better guys that have had one fucking dance, one match and lose it, and that's that. But he's in the record book. I got no problem with this, man. I really don't. I got zero fucking problem with it. Will they do it? Nah. I don't think they will. But I am fucking there for it. Because I think you're right. What if you're in the pro wrestling business, you are in the business of making those moments and memories. You really are. Like that's the kind of shit that draws people back. That being said, do you want that to be like you're not doing it because Hirooki Goto means big business? You're doing it because you kind of want that emotional attachment associated with that show and possibly the next show, or maybe even a third show. Who knows? But you kind of want to string those people along to be like, okay, the shoe's got to drop, and then maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I just don't see them doing that. I really feel like they are the company of, no, Zack is at his peak. Hirooki Goto is too old, and we're going to make people think he has got a chance at least. But I'm with you, dude. Like if it were ever going to be even a plausible thought, I'd be okay with this. I really would. And here's the thing too. I truly think that we live in different times, and you can't be stuck in 1983. And you can't be stuck in 1989 and 94. I know there's a huge history with this company of doing things a certain way. Let's fucking mix it up a little bit. Why not? Give people some fun. Here's a novel idea. Let's give people some fucking fun. Because I think people would thoroughly enjoy it. Yes, there will be people be like, Hirooki Goto? Are you fucking kidding me? This guy's gonna... I get it. One shot. You gave the fucking title to Evil. You mean to tell me you can't give it to Hirooki Goto? Let's be real here. Let's do it. I want to do it. I want it to happen. I don't think it'll happen.
Burning Hammer says, could Goto win and lose the title immediately at the next big show? Would a short title reign still make sense as a thank you to his years of work? At 45 years old, it would not be completely impossible. Factory Direct Marine and RV says, do you think it's safe to say that this is Goto's last call? Do you see any situation where he loses and gets another shot again? And do you see it being perceived in Japan as a bad sign if Goto is the one to beat Zack, a guy who wasn't the guy being crowned before the new generation? I don't think you give this title to Goto as a thank you. You give it to him because it makes sense, because it's the right thing to do.
Thank you.
And he had a tremendous 2024 and has won me and a lot of people over. That this would not be some sort of ironic thank you gesture for his years of service. It's because he kicks ass and he's great. And there's just so many built-in layers of story to it. And would the optics of Goto winning the title when you're trying to push the younger, I don't think anyone would give a shit about that, honestly. I think there would be such a tremendous surge of goodwill and everyone would be riding those immaculate vibes that, I don't think that'll be the furthest thing from people's mind. I think it would be really uncharitable to, if we do get this big moment of glory of this long story career the guys had, just always the bridesmaid, never the bride, for them people to say, oh, what about pushing the young guys? And I think
that'll happen.
That's why they've got the Gabe Tsuji match before that. So you come away from that thinking, yes, the future is them, but the present, Super Dad, Hirooki Goto.
And it doesn't hurt Zack in any way, shape, or form. Zack had his title run. Congratulations. We all wanted it and we all loved it. We had the summer of Zack. I'm totally okay with it, man. I really am. I don't think it hurts any of the young people, because eventually the youngsters are going to get that title. A one-off, a defense, lose it. I think we're okay with that. I don't even care if it's 2. I'll be honest with you. I don't care. I think it'll be such a moment. Honestly, that fucking building would just lose its collective minds. They'd go crazy. It'd be one of those moments that in every fucking video package from now until that promotion is bought by Tony Khan. Like, it'll be there. It'll be a moment. And they don't grow on fucking trees. Moments like that don't grow on fucking trees. I'm okay with it. I say do it, but they probably won't.
There's a lot of stuff on this show that they should do, but probably won't. I'm going to be sitting there watching it, and then if Great Khan wins, I'm going to be like, ooh. And if Taichi wins, you're like, ooh. And then Hirooki Goto wins, and then I ascend to some sort of higher state of being. You won't hear from me again. I'm going to pass on to some sort of wrestling nirvana. Right. See you next week, everyone.
Go Birds!
Do you like wrestling trivia? Then check out the 5-Star Match Game, the Pro Wrestling Quiz Show. I'm Joe Gagney, and every episode, I grill 3 contestants with 5 rounds of power-packed wrestling trivia. We have over 30 evergreen episodes in the archives covering WWE, AEW, Japan, Mexico, and much, 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 much more. Play along at home and check it out today.